everybody, it's Mr. Duke. Today we're going to be making puzzle pieces. We're going to be using Fusion360 to model digitally our pieces for the puzzle cube that we've been working on in class. Start out, we're going to go up here to the top left corner. We're going to access our data panel. I'm going to make myself a new folder. That folder is going to be called Puzzle Cube. You guys need to do the same. All of our pieces will be saved here into Puzzle Cube. I open it up, you should see nothing. So let's get started with our first puzzle piece. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to create a new design by going up here to plus. And I'm going to save it right away. Now, in class, we were using half-inch cubes, half-inch wooden cubes, to create our prototypes of our puzzle pieces. And we're going to start out the same way. So we're going to start by making our half-inch puzzle cube pieces. And that's what I'm going to call this file. This is going to be my half-inch cube. And notice here that my location is being saved to our puzzle cube folder. If yours is not, come down here to the drop-down menu and look around over here under projects and hopefully some folders, and you should be able to find your puzzle cube folder. But I'm already there. I'm going to hit save. And let's start creating our sketch. So I'm going to come here to create sketch and pick your plane. I'm going to do mine on the XZ plane. I'm going to do mine actually down here on the XY, excuse me, right here on the bottom. And my cube is nothing more than a rectangle whose sides are the same length. So I'm going to come down here to center rectangle, click on the origin to set my center, and I'm going to pull out to get my rough rectangle. I'm going to set it to 1/2 of an inch on both sides and hit enter. There we go. We have our base of our cube, which is just a square. If you weren't able to set these dimensions right away, you could always make your rectangle, come up here to create, and select here for sketch dimension. Select your side, and then you can set how long you want each piece to be. Remember, you need to set your length and your width. But I've already got that done, so I can finish my sketch. And now let's extrude this square so that we can make our cube. Up here to extrude, click, and we're going to extrude it 1/2 of an inch. And hit OK. And there you have it. You've got your first piece. Okay. So instead of having 27 little cubes sitting on your desk, you've got one wooden cube here that we can use to make everything else virtually. We're not quite finished yet, though. I'm going to come up here to save, just in case we need something happens. Let's make this look like an actual wooden cube. I'm going to come up here under Browser, select the name, the 1/2 inch cube. I'm going to right click and go to Physical Material. And we're going to make this take on the properties of wood. So scroll down through your library till you find wood. It's a little folder at the end. And I'm going to click and drag the cherry properties onto our block. And you'll see now the block looks like a piece of cherry wood. It's got the two-tone wood grain. It's got kind of a brownish color to it. Click on Close. I'm going to save that one more time. And there you have it. You've got a virtual wooden cube. And now we're going to use this wooden cube, in fact we're going to use several of these, to start making our first puzzle pieces. To do that, we're going to make a new design. Click up here to plus. I'm going to save it. This is going to be puzzle piece number 1. And I'm going to make with you the L shape. So I'm going to put that in there so I know what piece this is going to be. Again, make sure everything gets saved into your puzzle cube folder. Click Save. All right. Now, previously, all your work was done within this design. You would come over here to create a new sketch, draw out your L and extrude your L or draw your shapes out. But no, we're not going to do that today. We're going to build our puzzle piece by piece, block by block, just like we did when we were making our prototypes. So to do that, come up here to Show Data Panel, the waffle one more time. I'm in my Puzzle Cube folder. If you're not there, please navigate to it. And I've got there my 1/2-inch cube that we just made a few minutes ago. My L is going to be made up of 4 blocks, 3 vertical and 1 horizontal. So a total of 4 blocks. So I'm going to click and drag into our design 4 blocks. I'm going to do it one at a time, and each time I'm going to move my block just out of the way a little bit. So there's 1. Click, drag, use the arrows here to drag it out of the way. I'll pull this one back and hit OK. That's 2. Click, drag, move this one forward a little bit, 3. And click, drag, and move that one back a little. So there's 4 puzzle pieces. All right. Now you might be tempted to just stack them up like a stack of Legos. And we can do that. We can click, drag, put on top, click, drag, I'll put that one forward, and click and drag and put that one on top. And it looks like we've got our puzzle piece. And from this angle, we kind of do. If we spin this around a little bit, you'll notice none of our puzzle pieces are actually lined up. Right? It's an optical illusion. Instead, what we got to do is apply some virtual tape or glue to each of these pieces. And to do that, I'm going to close my data panel here, give me some more real estate. We're going to come up here to Assemble. Click down Assemble, and we've got the second option here, the joint. This will allow us to join pieces together, kind of like a glue or a taping them to one another. Now there's different kinds of joints that we can do, but we're going to, by default, we're just going to stick with this kind here, this rigid. Again, the rigid is going to keep these 2 pieces stuck together, treating them as one block, kind of like applying a virtual glue or a tape. To do this, we're going to come up and be very careful on where you select. Don't just go click happy over the surface. Be very careful and conscientious about clicking the center of one piece. And I'm going to join it here to the center of another piece, right, the center of this face. And hit OK. And you see now our blocks are joined together. And if I can drag one, the other one comes along with it. If you look down below, these 2 guys are still separated. So they have not been joined together. And the rigid joint has this little icon here. All right, so let's stack up a few others. I'm going to use the joint command again. I'm going to join this block down here with this piece up here. Oh, look at what happened. I apparently wasn't careful, and instead of selecting the center of that first block, I got one of the edges. And then you'll notice the blocks don't quite line up. You've got to be very careful about where you select on that face, because that's going to join certain pieces of a face to another piece of another face. So again, I'm going to use that joint command one more time. I'm going to very carefully select the center of one face on one block, and I'm going to put it to the top of this block. Hit OK. There we go. I'm going to do it one more time. You can come up here to Assemble and grab the joint command. You're also able to get there by hitting the letter J. J pulls up the same menu. I want the middle of this face to join up with the middle of that face. Oh, something happened. Undo. Let's try that again. Middle, middle. Okay, and there we have it. We've got our L shape. They're all joined together. I can show you this by clicking and moving it around, and none of the pieces go flying off. Our last step is to apply a coat of paint. Every shape should have its own color. I'm going to come up here to the title under my browser bar. It says puzzle piece number 1 L shape. I'm going to click, and I'm going to change its appearance. Now apply a coat of paint. So scroll down in your menu. You can go under paint. I want to apply a coat of yellow paint. And I'm going to click and drag it and apply it to each cube. Okay. If you don't happen to like that particular color, you could always double click up here under the paint that you've used in this design and use the color wheel to fine tune whatever color you'd like. I'll stick with the yellow, but I'll go maybe something like that. Hit done and then close. And there you have it. Here's my first puzzle piece for my puzzle cube. This is the first of 5 that I'm going to make. And this was the L shape. The only thing I've got left to do here is click Save, hit OK, and 1 out of the 5 puzzle pieces are already done. And so, ladies and gentlemen, your next step is to create the next 4 pieces on your own and save them all to that folder. Okay. Have a good day. Good luck, guys.